for department that precede that. So on page 89, you see transfers out. That's an appropriation.
Yeah.
So you add up the appropriations on page at the top line of 89 plus 88, 87, et cetera. The way this book reads is we're summing up all the appropriations in the 590 fund, and that gets us to 31.32 million.
Oh, I didn't realize 87 and 88 were also Fund 590.
Yeah, it is. Well, the way you can tell if you ever get confused, you can see the 590 dash on the account numbers.
Okay, yeah, there I see
that are there. So now you can see that those are appropriations.
Got it.
You'll see the way it's. This book is. Use a table of contents. It's very difficult. Trust me, we've been debating and going back and forth in the finance department about how to make this easier without going to 400 pages.
Yes.
But the way to do this is if you were to go to page top of 82, you see the word appropriations.
Page what?
82.
Yeah.
So you see 82 at the top, it says appropriations.
Yes.
So what I'm doing now is I'm going to show you all the account numbers.
I see them.
For the appropriations, and then I'm going to sum them up in the words, in the bold, totals for Department X, totals for Department Y. That should all roll up into that appropriations dash fund 590, the 31.3.
Yep.
And that's your 31.3 here on page 38 in the smaller book.
Okay.
So the bold line is the second set of numbers in the 590.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. I think that's right, the way you asked it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm glad Ms. Fields asked her question, because that was one of the things I really wanted to get into, was the science and the thought process behind the meter sales. So we did talk about that. We talked about income tax projections. We talked about the reading of the books. We will talk about I think we'll talk about the police number at the appropriate time. And the other thing I wanted to talk about too, and I think I put it in a letter before, and you and I talked about GASB 75. I don't know if you had a chance to kind of read up on GASB 75. I do apologize. I will provide you all with some language around it. I don't know if you had a chance to look at your CAFRs, but you will note that if you look at the budget book from last year versus this year, you'll see a significant drop in the fund balance for water and sewer. So, in this year, if I look at the beginning fund balance of 16.4 for the fund balance for sewer, if you compare that to the ending fund balance, or at least what we were projecting in the $36–37 million range, but there was an adjustment of the fund balance, and then that dropped to 16.4. In the CAFR, it explains what happened, but really it is the recognition of a new accounting standard, which is GASB 75. I'm going to be very high level, but GASB 75 basically says that for fund balances, for certain fund balances, I have to recognize the full liability of the OPEB, retiree health care, versus the ARC, which is the annual retiree contribution. For us, we're on a pay-as-you-go. So what we had been doing was we recognized how much we spent in each of the funds for retiree health care, and that was what hit the books. That was our liability. We paid it. We're good. Now, because you have to recognize the net actuarial liability, which is, okay, based on what I know, based on who I'm paying for, these are the number of people that I'm going to have to pay their health care for X amount of years. This is how long they're going to live. Based on that, this is my new liability, and I have to record pretty much the full liability in the fund. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why yet. I'm looking for the answer.